it's time to introduce our next guest. I wonder who it's going to be.
Oh, wow, look at this.
Let me just mix it up.
Look at the suspense.
Our next guest is Mr. Andy Harper.
Andy Harper in the house. Andy. Lovely to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me, Sam.
He usually gives people hugs, but you just get a handshake.
Separated by distance.
So you're part of...
Am I the guest of death, by the way?
Yeah, this is now the group of death. So you're part of the naysayers.
Am I?
Well, you were part of the package saying that it was a tough group. When you saw it, your first reaction was...
Well, as a Kentucky tour, it's a complete failure.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever been to Cuiabá?
No.
It's the dead centre of Brazil.
Is that,
They just reckon it's dead, actually.
Okay.
Wow, Harps, are you doing material there?
It's got a sport.
I read the email, Sam.
We needed it.
We do need it.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Harp, so we can sort of analyse a little bit more with you. Sammy, I know that you've been working hard on the itinerary.
Well, Harps, is this... Can I call you Harps? Too bad. Whatever. I'm going to do whatever I want. now, Andy, travel will be an issue as far as when I'm listening to Ange talk to Les Murray after the game. So the Socceroos itinerary, I've got it here. The first game is on June the 13th. That's in Cuiabá. Then we fly to Porto Alegre to face the Netherlands on June the 19th. Then for game 3, we fly up to Curitiba to play Spain on June 24. And then on June 25, we fly back to Sydney. Just in case. Straight back. Straight back like that.
That is not the spirit that made us a great country.
That's not the spirit, is it?
Tell me I'm wrong.
Unless they decide to have Mad Monday in Rio.
You're going to go over, though, aren't you?
Yes, I'll be there by hook or crook. Yeah.
Andy, look, seriously, it's going to be fantastic to go up against Spain, to go up against the Netherlands, Chile, fantastic. I remember in 2006, Australia had a cracker of a game against Brazil. We lost 2-0, but we almost outplayed them. We played against Italy, lost 1-0, very unlucky. I mean, it's not like we don't have any chance.
No, but there's close too. The point is, of these three, this batch of 3 World Cups, 74 was the first venture, of course, but 2006, 2010, 2014, this is by far the most difficult of the 3, and we're doing it with the most underdeveloped team. That's why this is so tough. But, you know, Switzerland beat Spain in their first game.
Yeah.
2010, France came bottom of their group, as did Italy, and Italy had to take on the might of New Zealand. So, you know...
In fact, New Zealand didn't lose a game in that World Cup.
Indeed, the only team who can boast that. So I've crunched the numbers, I've got my abacus out.
Wow.
If we emulate the Kiwis, and I know this will shock the people across the ditch, you might have to interview them back.
Yes,
we get 3 draws, and let's say Spain win their 2 against Chile and Holland.
Don't say it.
And those 2 draw,
Do it.
3 draws and we're through.
And we're through to Brazil.
He's worked it out. Thank you very much. We get to play Brazil.
Easy as you like.
The good thing is, if we get through to Brazil, right, and then we beat Brazil, we're out of that side of the draw and we play against Argentina.
That's smooth sailing. Just quickly, I've done a bit of research into the place we're staying in our hotel, Ilha du Bois. Is the name. It's 600. Is that wrong? De Bois. Sorry. It's $675 a night. Now on TripAdvisor, someone said old and dirty accommodations, overpriced restaurant, no taxis around.
Yeah.
Are we staying in Sydney? But apparently they do have those beds where you put the money in and they shake. So that's.
Well, Santa can turn up with his blow-up doll.
So let's get back on solid ground, shall we?
No, what I was going to say is that I love our team, and I think Ange is going to do great things with our team.
I agree.
But when you see... the other night, when we watched Sweden versus Portugal, there were 2 stars going at it, heavyweights. You're looking at Suarez now. Isn't it time we had a star? Don't you think is it possible that we can actually grab somebody at the young age and say, you know what, we want to groom you, we want you to be some form of spearhead? Yeah,
well, you know what, the closest person to that description probably Santo at the moment is Tommy Rogic.
Absolutely.
But we've got to get him playing. Well, we don't. He's got to get himself playing. And you had a lot of talk about his move out of the Mariners to Celtic. He had the option maybe to go to Western Europe or Central Europe. And, you know, all that swirls around still. But of the current crop, you would say Tommy Rogic is our next game breaker. But he's got to start getting some football matches. And I know that's a big bugbear of Ange's. But the moment that happens, you know, the whole picture will change. But, you know, let's look at this team as establishing a beachhead. Because the A-League's only new, in relative terms. That golden generation, most of whom we're just saying goodbye to now as footballers, They were spawned from the NSL. It took the NSL 15 years to start generating this culture of developing players.
Mark Rosciano was playing
Viduka, Kalina, the works.
Yourself?
I was going to say, hey, Andy,
I noticed.
you bring up the NSL. I don't know if we've got time to go through all your clubs, do we? We do.
We're going late tonight.
St George, Marconi, Brisbane Strikers, Newcastle Breakers and Newcastle United. That's a lot of clubs.
It is. Anyone
Did they just grow tired of your Harps? What happened?
Yeah.
What happened at the end of all these stints?
Well, age wearied him, and the years condemned. I think that was pretty much the way I felt by
That doesn't sound like much of a career, by the way.
No, it
sum
had
it
a
up
great
like
time.
that.
It meant nothing to most people, but it's a cherished memory of mine.
So, Harps, I've got to ask you while we're here, have a look around. Do you like our set?
But I love it.
Yeah, but it's
I love its Spartan nature.
That's a backhanded
I
compliment.
knew you were going to say that because you've got a lovely set with, like, look at the beautiful cushions.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Really?
leather.
Who notices the cushions, really?
Well, we did. The
We
leather
noticed the
couch and the...
Actually, who picks the cushions? Is it Tara? Because I reckon Cockerell might have a...
Have you seen mine? He is colourblind.
Oh, is he?
Well, maybe that describes the cushions.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should say that because we've worked out who the real star of your show up in Sydney is.
Fox Football, starring Andy Harper's cushion and Mike Cockerell's cushion.
Now, that is a promo that people can get behind.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, I'd support it.
And would
We
you
never
stick
got to see the cushion that Tara sits on. Does she actually use a cushion, or is it just you guys?
I've never gone there.
You haven't?
It's the hard-hitting questions here on Total Football.
I'll get the